What is going on, you guys? This is Unfiltered Intellect. This is part 8 of a series I'm doing with Khalid, talking about a wide variety of things. If you look in the description, there's a wide variety of our videos. But today we're discussing, or I'm privileged to discuss with Khalid a book that he is the author of. So Khalid isn't just my co-host, he is actually a professor in the university, and he's got his own book on psychology. Books. Actually, You know what? I actually just want to say that is so crazy that you just so humbly my friend, just so happened to be my friend. Because when we first met, I knew you ride a bike. I didn't really look into what you did, and we had a great conversation about gender roles, which we cannot get into. But that conversation that day was like, wow, the knowledge this guy has, man. And
we did speak after the ride. It was nice.
And the fact that you wrote your own book, I only found that out much later. So
okay.
Let's dive into it.
Yeah,
what does your book entail? What does it cover?
I've written so far 2 books, apart from the blogs and articles that I write regularly. So these are 2 published books on Amazon and libraries here in Kuwait that I sell. I started my first book, which is called The Power of Me. Yeah.
So we have Power of Now
and The Power of Me. So here's my book, The Power of Me, if you can see it. And I've written this in COVID, during lockdown. Well, how it started basically is I had this breakthrough moment where I started questioning everything. And I had some panic attacks, and some of my worst periods where I had depression because of my sinus infection, where I couldn't sleep, and I had insomnia and so many other things. So I studied and researched how to actually become successful and how to break through. So I started researching how to become successful and break through all of this, what I'm actually doing. Books will tremendously improve your life and success in the long term, okay? If you want to break free from a bad habit, a cycle, a way of thinking, get to know new friends, change hobbies, change job, simply just go into a new stepping stone in your life, I highly recommend you find that book. Most people don't like reading, not because of reading is bad or it's hectic or they don't know how to read, but because they did not find their book. You don't need to read 100 books, 1,000, 50. All you need is that one book that will change you forever. I say this time and again, most successful people became successful because of a book. If you do your research, if you Google it and see how that successful person that you are really attracted to in order to become successful, there was a book somewhere initially that he read or she read that ultimately made that big shift towards their success in the long term. So I started reading these books. I Googled a list of 10 best selling books for a new reader in order to become successful, and I took that list, I went to the library, I bought these books, and I started reading, one book after the other. At first it was obviously difficult. You start sleeping, you start not focusing because your brain is not used to reading long time, but time again and again, it becomes so easy that you get to finish a book a week or a book a day sometimes. So once I finished reading, I started taking notes on the important things that I read from that book. And then I saw my diary and journal, and it was quite thick. So I was like, I can publish a book just by my notes,
Yeah.
Anyway, so I continued, and I loved the actual habit of reading. And during lockdown, you couldn't, go to work, you couldn't do much. You have to stay at home. So what else stay at home than watching social media and TV for the average person? So I thought, let's use this time, let's invest in it and start getting benefit out of it. So I started reading again and again and again, bought these books. And then I was like, why don't I just start, spreading some of the knowledge that I have. So that's how I started into blogging, writing articles, writing blogs. And then gradually I got used to the habit of writing. And then I read books that how you need to actually unload what you read, otherwise you will be constipated. You will have that emotional crowdness, that too much knowledge that you will be overwhelmed and have that clog. So you have to take it out either through podcasting, social media,
something
posting.
you enjoy.
Yeah, but you have to share it. It's why actually authors write books, because they read a lot of books, they have a lot of knowledge, they have to give it away and tailor it in the best possible way for them to actually learn from, at the same time help other people. Okay. So I started writing, and it was 120 pages. It's a very simple book, basically like a life story of mine, how I first started until how I became a professor, with my challenges, with the things that really changed me, stepping stones, things that really brought me to where I am, the good side and the bad side, and how you can actually learn from it. So it's full of exercises. I tried to make it as simple as possible so people actually love reading, get into that habit of reading. I had a lot of pictures, quotes, exercises, so it's not just words. So that was my first book, story of mine. My second book, I wrote it took me about 6 months to finish. I tried to change the dynamics, okay? Because once you start reading so much books, you start seeing so many different ways of how authors, deliver messages. So I read this book by Robert Greene, which is famous for 48 Laws of Power. He's got a book that's called The Daily Laws. Okay, I love the concept and idea. This is one of the best books, especially his best publishing books that I read, because he made it into way of a calendar. Okay, so what basically it means, on every single date of the year, 365 days, from 1st of January till end of December, each page separately written according to that date. So today's date, for example, 5th of May 2026, you go on 5th of May and you start just reading that page alone, only by itself. So what I felt does to the actual brain is to make it into the habit of reading on a daily basis. And once you start doing that, you start becoming very flexible, very comfortable reading. And it starts to help your focus, your writing skills, your reading skills, your memory, your vocabulary, and so forth. So I was like, why don't I use that same method of the daily laws into my second book that is called The Daily Powers. How every single day you can gain power from the book, from actually reading one page a day. So I divided that book into 4 different chapters: mental, physical, social, and financial. How you can excel, improve, and become successful at these 4 aspects and areas of your life, because I believe they're all connected and they're all crucial, and they all help each other. If you become successful at all of them, you became successful in your life overall. If you become successful at one, you will apply that same principle to the next, and you will become successful. So these are the 2 books which I've written, and maybe I'll have the 3rd book on the way.
Hey, there we go. We look forward to that. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. You can find my books on Amazon, The Daily Powers or The Power of Me. I've got a soft version of it and a hard copy version of it. Also in Kuwait, you can check out the libraries and you find my books.
Oh, so it's translated into both?
Yeah, both. Arabic and English.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Khalid.
Absolutely, man.
And if you want to look at improving your life, you know where to find the book. I'll actually leave a link in the description where you can find his book. Yep. You can just go into that link and find it there. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Don't forget, send this to someone who you really think would benefit. I'm sure you do know that one person who's looking forward for that change.
Exactly. All right. This is Unfiltered Intellect out.